What's good with y'all, man? It's your boy Mike. Welcome back to Broski and them. Back with another reaction video. Going to be reacting to 6 Disturbing and Dark Experiments by Mr. Nightmare. Link will be in the description to the original video. So without further ado, here we go.
These are 6 of some of the creepiest and most disturbing science experiments throughout human history. Number 6. The concept has become almost a staple in science fiction: mind control. However, what if it's not as fictional as you may have thought? Scientists at the University of California were able to develop cyborg beetles by implanting electronic components into the beetles' cocoons.
Cyborg beetles?
The insects could then actually be controlled via a remote control and instructed how and where to fly, almost like an RC helicopter. The experiment was then pushed a stage further when the military started to experiment on rats and implemented heat sensors and small cameras onto the tiny creatures.
The fuck?
The military's main goal with this is to create a means of conducting safer search and rescue missions or for surveillance using the rats and beetles.
Is that a real rat?
Essentially, the scientists turned neurons in the rats' brains on and off using different colors of light.
Wow.
The really creepy part is that scientists believe this opens up the possibility for potential human mind control in the near future.
Oh, fuck no. Oh, hell no.
Number 5. For decades, the Soviet Union actually created and maintained a secret lab known as the Chamber, Laboratory 1, and Laboratory 12, which led a sinister program to devise new methods of poisoning people. Beginning in 1921 and continuing for most of the 21st century, the chamber was used as a covert research facility for secret police agencies. Prisoners from Russian labor camps, or gulags, were exposed to a number of deadly poisons in the chamber, including mustard gas, ricin, digitoxin, and more, the purpose of which was to find a tasteless, odorless chemical that could not be detected in a dead body. Men and women of varying ages and physical conditions were brought to the laboratories, where they were given the poisons, which would be mixed into a meal or drink, or served as a medication. Eventually, a preparation with the scientist's desired properties was developed, and it was called C2. C2 was not detectable post-mortem, and according to witness testimonies, a victim who was given C2 changed physically, becoming shorter and weaker, and after falling silent and calm, died within only 15 minutes. People of varied physical conditions and ages were brought to the labs in order to have a more complete picture for the action of each poison. In addition to human experimentation, the scientists would also execute every prisoner brought down to the lab who survived the poisonous effects.
Wow.
Number 3. For you animal lovers out there, this one may be a little disturbing.
Oh, man,
in 1940, Russian scientists released a video of their experiments which involved severed dog heads being kept alive for several hours. The severed heads would wiggle their ears in response to sounds and even lick their mouths. The scientists who were behind the experiment claimed they were able to keep the animals alive by attaching an artificial blood circulation system to the head. But that was just the first time that scientists had created these so-called zombie dogs.
Fuck?
In 2005, American scientists tried again by flushing all the blood from the dogs' bodies and replacing it with oxygen and sugar-filled saline. 3
this
hours
shit just
later,
gave me chills,
the
like,
team gave the dogs
literally just gave me chills, like,
heads, with one even allegedly regaining consciousness. There's only footage of the 1940 experiment that's available on the internet. If it makes you feel any better, the experiments kind of had good intentions, as this kind of treatment could apparently one day save people from hemorrhaging blood too quickly.
For real? Really?
Number 2.
Really?
During the time of the Holocaust, the Nazis decided to perform several experiments on humans, causing the victims to suffer to unbearable degrees, and for the most part, resulted in death. These torturous experiments were done on concentration camp prisoners during World War II, most of whom were Jews. One of the most feared doctors during this time was Josef Mengele, who was also known as the Angel of Death. He lived in the Auschwitz concentration camp, and what he enjoyed most was experimenting with the genetics of twins and people with deformities. He experimented on over 1,000 pairs of twins, with only about 200 surviving the experiments. However, survivors of the experiments didn't live long regardless, as most were killed anyway.
That's fucked.
The Nazis wanted to know if a person's joints and limbs could be removed and transplanted into someone else. These cruel experiments led to scores of concentration camp prisoners having limbs needlessly amputated. The aim was to study the regeneration of bones, muscles, and nerves. Every attempt to transplant a limb or joint was a failure. Many were killed, mutilated, and exposed to excruciating pain. Sections of muscle, bone, and nerves were also removed in fruitless attempts to regenerate those body parts.
What?
Other horrific Nazi experiments also consisted of forcing victims to drink seawater in hopes that they would find a way to make seawater drinkable.
Dude, do you know how fucking salty seawater is?
To drink only seawater and
do you know how much salt is going into your body?
Water. The experiment became so unbearable that some victims actually licked a freshly mopped floor just to get a small amount of fresh water.
I don't even know if I can finish this video, dude. This shit is
Number 1.
Fucking
crazy.
There
have been many reports of North Korean human experimentation of prisoners in gas chambers, testing deadly chemical weapons,
Kim Jong-un?
and surgery without anesthesia. These reports show human rights abuses similar to those of Nazi and Japanese human experimentation in World War II.
You know that dude is crazy anyway.
The North Korean government, of course, denies these allegations and claims that all prisoners in North Korea are humanely treated. Selected and given poisoned cabbage leaves, which all the women were forced to eat despite cries of distress from those who had already eaten them. According to the woman, all 50 were dead after 20 minutes of vomiting blood. Now all 50 women ate the leaf, as refusing to do so would have meant that they and their families would be severely punished. Kwon Hyuk, who was a former prison head of security at Camp 22, described laboratories equipped respectively for poison gas, suffocation gas, and blood experiments in which 3 or 4 people, sometimes families, are the experimental subjects. After undergoing medical checks, the chambers are sealed and the poison is injected through a tube, while scientists observe from the outside. Kwon even stated, "I saw an entire family being killed. They were put in the gas chamber where they all suffocated. The last to die was the youngest son." Kwon stated the parents tried to save the children using mouth-to-mouth resuscitation for as long as they had the strength, and that it was the most horrific and evil thing he had ever seen.
I bet it was. That shit is crazy. That shit is crazy, man. Let me know what y'all think, dude. That shit is fucked. This whole video was just fucked, man. I edited some stuff out, so if y'all want to see the original video, link will be in the description down below. Yeah, this shit was fucked, man. But yeah, man. Hope y'all enjoyed the reaction video. This shit was just crazy. I'm gonna have to check out some more of his stuff. Mr. Nightmare. I think I edited like 1 or 2 videos out. So if y'all want to watch the original, y'all can go to Mr. Nightmare channel. Hope y'all enjoyed the video. Hope y'all enjoyed my reaction. If you did, you could like, subscribe, comment down below. Let me know your thoughts on this video. This shit was crazy. But with that being said, it's your boy Mike, Broski and them. And I'm out, man. Peace. Suck a fat one.